You've probably been riding in a car or out shopping when you heard a familiar song. Maybe you loved it or maybe you hated it, but the radio allowed you to experience that song wherever you were without a live band in sight. The radio is one of the most important inventions in the history of telecommunication. But what's so important about it? What was it invented for and who by? What does the future look like for the radio, and has television changed the way it is perceived forever? And what does the radio look like? Could you build one in your own home, or do you need to call a professional? Let's find out together. In the year 1890, Italian inventor Guglielmo Marconi was traveling to London to attend a science symposium when his vehicle slid off the road. Because of the weather conditions, he was forced to wait in the car for nearly 3 hours and developed a terrible ennui. It was in those 3 hours that Marconi developed the idea for a wireless telegraph, in order to listen to his favorite songs while he waited in the car for a tow truck to rescue him. By the year 1895, Marconi had encountered a number of issues with his initial design for the radio. His first 3 attempts at creating the wireless telegraph relied upon a crystal which had been stolen from the Italian Museum of History, and it was haunted. Because of this, the first 3 radios spent the next 40 years visiting him in his dreams, which eventually would cause Marconi to lose his mind. In America, Thomas Edison was designing a wooden box with a tiny man inside that would sing a song. However, because of a dispute with the RIAA, the tiny men would eventually be issued cease and desists. Edison's company, Only Tiny Men in Boxes LLC, was on the brink of financial ruin when he got wind of Marconi's unpatented haunted crystal radio design. By modifying the radio to contain fewer ghosts, Edison was able to bring the radio to a wider market in America, and ultimately steal Marconi's glory. But what made the radio so popular? In 1919, the radio was made illegal, citing its effects as an aphrodisiac, as well as a menace to the peace. When it became legally codified that the radio would help you in the bedroom, Americans would drive to speakeasies, where they'd illegally purchase and repair radios, and, to a lesser extent, walkie-talkies. By the 1920s, every home in America had an illegal radio, and subsequently, in 1927, over 90 million arrests were made in what would come to be known as the largest single police raid of the 1920s. Word had reached President Calvin Coolidge, who was himself incarcerated at the time for unrelated reasons. Eyewitness accounts say that the president shed a single tear and shut his eyes. He would spend the rest of his life with his eyes shut. During the Second World War, the American government was concerned about wartime depression affecting birth rates, and decided to undo its stance on the radio, citing the health benefits of regular hip thrusting and open-mouth kissing. One quote from General Dwight D. Eisenhower reads, "We're in way over our heads, and I have no idea how long this war thing is going to last. If this is going to be the end, I just say we do whatever." And do whatever we did. By the 1950s, radio was starting to look more like its modern counterpart. Popular music was becoming increasingly popular, and unpopular music was falling to the wayside. Thomas Edison's death in 1931 freed all the ghosts that had been trapped in the radio crystals, and post-war technology meant that ghost-free sound was clearer than ever. Contemporary artists like Elvis and Motley Crue helped shape listeners. So what happened? In 1975, Frampton came alive, revoking the sacred pact he had made with the old ones and plunging the earth into 40,000 years of chaos and darkness. In order to come alive, Frampton was required to steal the soul of another. This is when the radio was killed. This event would be documented by several different musicians in songs like Don McLean's American Pie Part 1, The Buggles' video Killed the Radio Star, and Red Hot Chili Peppers' Suck My Kiss. But what do you think? Please leave a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe.